Hello, my name is Rosengreen Lorenzen. I'm the CEO in Danish AM Hub. We are a fund in Denmark established to investigate how we can use additive manufacturing for a more sustainable production system. And we do everything we can to help all producers here in Denmark to harvest the potential of this fantastic technology. First of all, a little bit about the Danish AM Hub. We help define additive manufacturing in Denmark. One of our largest activities is AM Summit, a conference where we gather both international stakeholders but also our producers here at home. We develop additive manufacturing. We're a partner in World Economic Forum. We're a partner in AMGTA, also several other EU projects and international networks. And also here in NAMIC today, and thank you very much for having me. We're also partnering up with them, and hopefully we'll see you in AdForm Next very soon as well. We deliver AM, so we have 100 Danish producers in projects each year, and the very best of those projects we communicate in cases and have on our website, so do check that out as well. There's a pretty cool bunch of examples on how to use additive manufacturing for sustainable production within that case archive. And also we deploy AM and also have a bit of challenging on additive manufacturing, specifically within the construction sector, where we work with the clever Danish designers and architects on how would we utilize additive manufacturing and also create a more sustainable construction sector. Now, I've been asked today to talk about sustainable production, also the material side. And for me to do that, I'll just tell you a bit about how I see production. And to do that, I have taken a really old case example. This example is 40,000 years old. So that's like a lot of years ago. Just 1,000 years ago, I would have been a Viking. This is 40,000 years ago. It's Löwenmensch, and it's found in what we today know as Germany. It's carved out of ivory from a mammoth. So it's like a really cool artifact that has been found and discovered. Now what it shows you is something that is not real. So 40,000 years ago, someone has sat down in a cave and carved out this to show people around him or around her that this is something you need to imagine together with me. We are the clan of the Lion Man. You have to follow my lead, and we as a bunch have to create whatever, or have to hunt, or have to gather, or whatever has been the purpose of this statue. Now, if you think about it, today we're much smarter, right? We don't have any symbols like that. But if you think about it, actually there's a lot of lions also in our time. It's really crazy thinking about a company like Peugeot. So the company in itself has, you know, we've as people have gathered imagination power within that and just agreed that we have something called a company. And if, you know, we take a Peugeot car and there is a problem with it, we will sue the company, not the people behind the company. And we also have insurance, which is also something that is in our imagination. So this, people, is what John Lennon was singing about. This is the imagination power of human beings. This is why we've conquered pretty much all of the world. And this is why also we will conquer the universe when we get there. Cool. Now, just to stay on that note, think about triangle trade. So for 300-400 years, we have had triangle trade where we would take stuff here in Denmark, typically weapons, and we would ship that to Africa. Then we would unload. We would take Africans, take them to the States, load typically sugar or others, and unload the slaves, and then take the ship back to Denmark, and that would be triangle trade. 19 million African slaves were shipped that way. It is a dark chapter in our history. And today we think of this as, what were we doing? That is just insane. But if you think about it, no one said, okay, let's do something differently. This here was a typical case of someone has been carving out a lion man and said, now this is what we do today, this is how it has to be. And then people would just follow that lead. Today we are in a very different situation. When I order some products here in the northwestern part of Europe, typically it would be shipped from Asia, and it would be shipped with really, really heavy machines that are really, really cost efficient. It would be shipped to me and I can have it within 1 or 2 days. It is a fantastic achievement of human beings that our production system is so efficient and has that high amount of volume, also at a very, very low cost. But the problem is this: it's not good for our planet. Actually, the UN Secretary General could not have been any clearer in his key message. It's a code red. So if you look at the emissions we have each year, we have 51 billion tons of CO2, and it's divided like this according to Bill Gates and Breakthrough Energy. 31% of that is actually manufacturing. Specifically, it's steel, it's cement, and it's plastics. We need a lot of fossil fuels to create the process behind the material cement, steel, and plastics, and then first we start to produce it into products that we then ship. And we need to change that. That is the single most important challenge for production today. It is to changing this system. Cool. So how do we change it and how do we use AM for that? So here in the Danish AM Hub, we look at this example and really like this. It's an example that is 5 years old and it's from Airbus and Autodesk. Look at this partition here. How would you produce it? Typically you would mill it or you would form it in a formative production process, and they didn't do that. They looked at this physarum, which is a mushroom. And it's like a super cool mushroom because if you put it in a maze, it will find its own way out. And it builds these super strong structures around trees. Now you can look at this and figure out, okay, then how, if I put my preconditions within the machine, the algorithm can tell me how would physarum actually grow this partition. And here it is. And it's both stronger and lighter. Now, since it's lighter, it saves the planet 465,000 tons of CO2 each year. That is an immense impact on our planet. This is using tools and skills to create a new production system. Kevin Singer, also in the US, pretty cool example. The car in itself is printed by robots. Typically a car would have 3,000 parts. This one has 80. Or the steel bridge in Amsterdam, which we also really love. If you look at these 3 examples, the print in itself is only 5 or 6%. It's the method, it's the understanding and the mindset of using the technology for this that is the key factor here. And that is what we're trying to promote in Danish AM Hub. We promote it by looking at specifically 4 areas, either depending on if you want to change your product or if you want to change your value chain. If you want to do so, you could look at these 4 key themes: tools and prototyping, tailor-made products, new business models, and distributed manufacturing. And the cool news is that we actually managed to get Danish producers involved in this. So this is a typical Danish producer. We have thousands of them that will supply something for the German auto industry. And here our CTO, Steffen, has been involved in talking to this company and figuring out exactly how could they use 3D printers within their own production system. Today, this company, even though there are only 100 employees, have their own 3D print center. And they will also take some of the next steps in terms of using AM to a more sustainable production system. This here is Rasmus. He is from the southern part of Jutland, and he is the son of the owner of a Danish company, a really cool company which name is Danitech. Typically, they would create hydraulic blocks like the one here on your right side, which is a pretty normal standard square. and then you would mill in some kind of difficult, the connections you would mill in. But they're not doing that anymore with this specifically, they are printing it. And because they're printing it, they can get a more energy efficient product, and actually they can save 50% of energy with this product today. So they are actually producing the green products of the future. Are they more expensive? Yes. But are they greener? Yes. And we need to work on the greener side of the production system, and we need to scale that even more. If we look at new business models, our friend Alan here from Frederiksberg in the northern part of Zealand, he prints glasses. So it's more tailor-made glasses. It's printed in castor bean oil, which is also a pretty cool material you should check out because it has some really good traits in terms of the sustainable side. But here is the notion, right? Here is the killer thing behind his business model. The typical glass industry would have 85% of waste. Alan, in his glass business, Monocool, has 2% of waste. He can even take back the glasses, shred them down, and use that material again for a more circular production method. And my last example is Steen here, also somewhere around, located around where Alan is. And he creates these more like robotic machines, typically used for clothing industry. And he gives his customers 30 years of guarantee. But now he has a digital file where all his spare parts are in the digital file. So he doesn't need to produce those parts anymore. He can have that in a file, and when the customer then needs it, he will just produce it. So just to sum up, we need to put sustainability first. We shouldn't put cost and volume first anymore. We need to be able to create sustainable products. That is the key challenge. We need to produce when we need it with little or actually no waste. And we need to produce tailor-made products that are long-lasting, products that are meaningful, products that can be repaired and remain in the production system for hundreds of years. And we need to do so in a more circular production model. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we think in Danish AM Hub. We together should carve out a new lion man and use AM as the leveraging force for sustainable production. Check out our website, amhub.dk, and reach out to me or my colleagues for any more questions or inputs. Thank you very much.